Hi all, I'm Mike from Hobbyit, and today we're modelling and painting some Watcher in the Water tentacles. As part of the main series on my channel, where we're going through all the battle games in the Middle-earth magazines, I needed some tentacles for my Doors of Durin game board. The magazine came with some cardboard cutouts to use, but I wanted something more substantial, and Games Workshop doesn't make any tentacles for this scenario. So I jumped into Blender and quickly sculpted one with enough texture that it would paint up nicely using speed paints. I rigged the tentacles with an armature and created an IK bone for posing. This means I can adjust the pose however I want, and the inverse kinematics takes care of the rest of the positioning. I created 8 individual poses, some reaching out, others stretching, aiming for dramatic, interesting silhouettes. These were brought into Photon Studio for supports and then printed out in resin. Once printed, I cleaned up the supports and gave them a zenithal prime and jumped straight into painting. I'll be using Army Painter speed paints for this pretty simple paint job. For the green areas, I use Forest Sprite. The scales on the arm were coated with Crusader skin, and again you can see the speed paint doing its job on the details. For the base I wanted a murky blue, so I mixed 1 drop of dark wood with 5 drops of tidal wave. To unify the colours and tone them down a bit, I used a light coat of Agrax Earthshade. I applied this with a large brush, first wetting the entire model with water. This helps to thin the Agrax and prevents it from drying too quickly, which can cause patchy results. When I was sculpting, I purposefully sculpted in a channel next to the scales for the Agrax to run into, as I knew I wanted this to be darker to create contrast between the scales and the skin. Now, obviously, these tentacles should look wet, so I finished with a coat of satin varnish. For the base, even though I did sculpt a little bit of ripples around the tentacle, I use this water texture paste. It goes on thick, letting you shape it how you like, and it dries to a clear, super glossy finish. I'm really pleased with how these turn out, and I'll make the files available on Patreon if anyone wants to download and print their own. If you liked this little project, give me a like or a comment, it really helps out the channel. Until next time, happy modelling and painting.